Welcome to another episode of Nadine's Corner Presents. Let's go! Welcome to another episode of Nadine's Corner Presents. We're back, and today I do have a unique drummer, and I met him at a gig. But unfortunately, I never saw him play. But what I do professionally is stalk people, and I did that. I stalked him on Instagram, and he has an amazing Instagram profile. And his name is Fernando Damon. Welcome to Nadine's Corner Presents, Fernando.
Thank you, Nadine, for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I've seen some of your stuff as well, and yeah, I'm happy to be here and just to share what I do as well.
I'm grateful to have you on, so welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then, okay, let's get into it. Fernando, such an amazing name. It reminds me of like the mafia, you know? I know a bit about you, but who is Fernando?
Well, yeah, I'm a drummer, a musician, producer and label owner from Cape Town. I wasn't born here, but I've been living here my whole life, mostly. And yeah, I do music and musical things. Yeah, for my half.
And he's pretty good at it as well, guys. He's really incredible at it. Seeing that you are a drummer, I know you play with musicians and vocally they're singing. But then as a drummer, you express yourself different in a singing form, but in a playing form. How do you maintain that skill when you're actually playing with an artist?
I think personally, through my music and my art as someone in practice, I think, yeah, there's like a fine line between what I want to say. And so I guess drumming is like one of the mediums I use to speak, where words fail me otherwise. So yeah, I guess music is a language innately. And I think, yeah, that's just a way, oh fuck, this bubble gum. But that's just a way I express myself and yeah, get to speak. So I might be feeling happy and have a lighter tone, and I might be feeling angry and then playing a bit more abrasively. But mostly I think I just try and do what comes naturally, I play and make music to just communicate and like try and reflect the times through my lens.
And that's so
if that
beautiful.
answers your question.
That's so beautiful. I've never seen it from a drummer's viewpoint, because we always hear the tone and we know that you guys rehearse.
Of course.
But at the same time, that's how you express how you feel.
Of course.
And
yeah.
also the musical rapport that's untold when you do play on stage.
Yeah, I think, yeah, just to add to that, I think, as I think, yeah, it's a Nina Simone quote where she's like, an artist's duty is to reflect the times. I'm gonna take this out, I'm sorry.
Cool.
But yeah, so I think it's our duty to, yeah, reflect the times, and you might not have the words to say, and you might go 10 years not having anything to say. So I think just consistently I've found ways to say things through some of the groups I've played with, and through some of my own releases, and just like, yeah, fortunately the opportunities I've gotten to show that expression. And yeah, I think it's just like, yeah, I'm in practice, so it's constant, It's like a practice more than something I'm wanting to achieve through music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I think I'm also just searching, and so yeah. As a drummer, I think that's something very important for me to, or as someone involved in music.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just important that I yeah, I do what I feel. You know what I mean?
And of course, like there has to be sort of like with the dedication, there has to be complete love.
Of course.
You know, so how and when did you actually discover your love for drumming? I know it can be, oh, I can play drums, but there just comes a point in an artist's life where like I actually love playing the drums.
Sure,
You know,
yeah.
when was your moment when you discovered that?
I think I have like flashes of it through moments. I performed around the corner the other Thursday, and I had that moment where I think, yeah, I have flashes of those moments. But when I, or at least when the drums found me,
Yes.
essentially I was like programming and making beats for a lot of years before playing drums.
Oh wow.
So it's actually like a very recent thing, like maybe just over 4 years ago. And like the tone of the sound I was going for and what I was inspired by at the time, Madlib, Dilla, Ninth Wonder, or at least as I got older, the acoustic tone and the dustiness of some of those records is something that inspired me to, not replicate that sound, but it was just a more natural sound.
Yes.
And so I got essentially just got tired of like doing it with my fingers, and it was very repetitive in nature because you're practicing and you can only do so many things at one time. And so I actually just expressed to someone that interviewed me early on Bush Radio, someone that's been following my stuff, Circular, for those who don't know him. Yeah, shout out Circular. And yeah, and Circular just, I said, yeah, man, I really want to start playing drums, but I don't have the money to get a drum kit. And he was like, I'm actually leaving the country next week. You can take my drum kit. It's like old, but you could, if you could make use of it. And yeah, so essentially I just like started playing. I just obviously like study, but I think I just started playing, and I was like, yeah, I could like add this to my repertoire, to not be boxed in this like producer, beat maker thing. Because there was, I think, like with the scene in LA and like some peers of mine in South Africa, well, I won't mention all of them, but there was like a nice scene of like people making beats, and like we all kind of connected through SoundCloud and just the internet.
Yeah.
The internet's a great place. So I just didn't want to be boxed, and I also feel like I just knew what I was doing at some point. I wanted to do something else. And it's like it's opened a lot of I won't say doors, but I've gotten a lot of other opportunities outside of DJing or playing.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like it started around 4.5 years ago, and I think I just like threw myself into the deep end. I'm still figuring things out. I love as like I want to be my own favorite artist, but there's obviously loads of drummers I like listen to, and like I have flashes of being inspired again. So
You mentioned loads of drummers, but I guess they each come with their own style. Do you want to speak about your type of style, your personal style as well?
Sure. Yeah, I think I'd like say free. I'm not gonna try and box myself, and I'm not a jazz drummer. I'm not I think they're different. Also, genre is like a very it's there to commodify and
Yes.
to, stagnate in some ways. So yeah, as much as I love jazz and funk, and I'd like to think it's fusion, my style, because I use electronics and I use um, drums, and so it's like the electronic acoustic elements, very hybrid, you know. So I think it's like, I'd say fusion, um, but yeah, just free. I'm just free, man. I struggle to say I'm a this thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I do a bunch. I try and do anything musical. I collect records. I play records. I can, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like, as an artist in practice, I feel I might like put the drum kit away forever and just start painting and tomorrow. But as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to just continue expressing myself through, yeah, the mediums I have found. That's my voice, because I'm talking a lot now. I know.
You're comfortable, that's why.
Yeah, I feel comfortable. Yeah.
But I like that though, the 3 Fs, Fernando, fusion, and freedom.
Yo, yeah, damn, it's like I gotta use that.
Alright?
I gotta use that.
That can be a slogan. Patent that.
Yeah, that's
Fernando,
fusion,
freedom, fusion.
Oh, damn, yeah.
Triple F.
I'll write that down afterwards.
And then I know every, well, how can I say, musician aspires to play with that particular person.
Sure.
I don't know if you want to mention anyone like you would like to play with one day on the same stage.
Yeah, I feel a lot of musicians I'd love to play with. Some of them are already dead and gone. At least since I've come to find out about more of my favorite things.
Yeah.
It's like I'd love to play with Coltrane. Coltrane's gone. So is Miles, so is, yeah, damn, I'm mentioning jazz musicians. But there's so many, you know what I mean? And then yeah, I actually thought of this earlier when I checked through the questions.
Say it.
But there's a group out of this, but if I had to say currently, and especially what I'm enjoying right now, because tomorrow it might change. So the way I'm feeling today, there's this group called Reflect and Respond, which is actually just like a super group of, it's Robert Glasper and Terrace Martin, and they're all like amazing composers and Grammy Award winning musicians. Yeah, Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper, Derek Hodge. So it's just like a consortium of musicians that came together for this project. And firstly, yeah, reflect and respond for obvious reasons, you know what I mean? I think music's also a call and response. But yeah, the Reflect and Respond group, the way they went about their first show, I obviously read up. I love the music.
Yes.
Everyone should listen to the Reflect and Respond project. It's called Reflect and Respond equals Now, which is like such a, you know what I mean? Such an interesting concept, but they improvised a lot of these things. And so, yeah, to touch on the language thing, these are people who have been in training. So essentially they could get into a room and just play. And yeah, there's like the saying also that the first take's a money take, you know what I mean? So they just went in, recorded this amazing album and like approached their shows in a very, this free form, like, cool, I'm gonna let you say something and then I'm gonna go and say something. And so just that ethic of like just going in and playing, I'd love to one day, play with some of those guys, even if it's individually as well.
Yes.
Which is something, I'd hope to look back at this and be like, man, I told you so.
You will. It's gonna come through from your lips to God's ears and the universe,
Of course,
right?
It's just God. Everything is God.
Reflect,
you know what I mean?
respond. Love it.
So yeah, I'm a fan, and a lot of them, Terrace, a lot of them played on some of Kendrick's stuff. So those are the musos that like, it's the fusion thing. it's like it's hip hop, it's jazz, it's electronica, it's anything, you know. So yeah, the other you know, obviously locally in South Africa, um, yeah, there's a lot of musicians I'd love to play. We need to get together as musicians.
I think you deserve one, to be honest.
Yeah, but other than that, that group particularly, I'm like really enjoying their stuff, and yeah.
Let's go to your why. Like, I know some drummers, you wait for the next gig and some gigs don't pull through. You see
That's why I
some guys.
don't just play drums. You gotta,
Yes.
Another thing is, I think it's like there's a lot of session people. So I'm not a session dude. Although I've been involved in sessions, and from time to time I get called to play with some people. I'm very, you know, yeah, I started out being as a beat maker and a producer. So I was, you know, I churn out beats. I've got a lot of projects out online, and work, you know, music stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of stuff I've done in the last little while. So I don't believe in that thing. I can't wait for the next gig. You know what I mean? But my why, yeah, I do it for my health and my liberty. It's like I don't know what else to do. I can't do anything else. You know. So yeah, I try and keep it musical.
That is so beautiful. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I really do. It's so authentic.
I know it's like it's also, you know, I have to do things sometimes to live and to eat and to pay the bills. But fortunately, I've been, well, I made a decision a while back that I'd just be doing this.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I get jobs from time to time.
Big jobs.
And I gig, I'd like to say regularly. So, and yeah, hopefully it's like, you know, yeah, this thing is a practice. So, so even when there's no sessions and there's no gigs, like I still have to be in practice, because this is like what we do as artists. Yeah.
And for drummers that aspire, or aspiring drummers, or drummers that look up to you, not necessarily only drumming, because I see a part of you, you do diversify your portfolio.
Sure, yeah.
What do you have to say to someone that wants to follow in your footsteps, you know?
Yeah, well, firstly, like follow your heart. It's like the cliche. But just, yeah, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something, and move with like a sense of freedom. You know, I feel too often there's like everything is limited and censored, and like you can't really you know, yeah, we like to put on this hat and be like, hey, this is what I do. But I think for younger musicians, I feel like I'm still young, so I'm saying this as a reminder to myself. I'm not that young anymore, but yeah, just do and try and do as much as you can, you know, and like knock on doors, and you know, you never know what door might open. Like I met you at our gig in Langa, and here we are like having a conversation. So I think it's important. You never know like what's around that corner, you know.
And I was holding his drink. Okay, that was my only function. He was like, "Can you hold my drink, please? Can you hold my drink, please? Can you?" I'm like, this guy. And then that's how we met.
That was one drink.
That was one drink. But I was the drink holder.
I needed the bathroom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
How do we find you? Where do we book you? You know, how do we get in touch with you? How do we get hold of you? Is there like a PA, or is it like a DM vibe? How does it work?
No. I've got a website, fernandodamon.com. Social media, Fernando Damon. Yeah, if you seek, you shall find. You can find me. And via my website, you could, you know, there's a way you could email me, and my personal assistant will handle that, which is actually me. I can't wait to like, see, like, yeah, the more and more, or the deeper I get, the more I stray away. Do you know what I mean? so the more things change, the more I'm like, yeah, let me get further away from this thing and closer to this thing, you know.
And that's beautiful. I will tag him as well so you can go to his profile. But thank you so much for.
Thank you for having me.
Only a pleasure.
Very, very happy we could do this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been almost like a month, but we made it possible.
Yeah, we
so,
did.
Yeah.
We
Thank
did.
you so much.
Thank
and then
you.
all
Thank
the
you for
best
having me.
for your travels. I know you're traveling. And then for
Yeah,
your future
thank you.
projects.
Thank you. Yeah. There's always a lot happening. There's always a lot coming. But I also don't like to speak before the time, you know. Just keep up to date. Just keep up to date.
Keep those cards close to
You know
your
what I mean?
chest.
You
But
gotta
anyway.
you gotta keep some cards close to your chest.
Exactly. But that's another episode, and that's a wrap of Nadine's Corner Presents. See you on the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you. Peace.
And God bless.
Thank you.